I'm going to start this video off by saying that I want to play a game. And no, don't worry, I don't have your limbs chained up to the edges of a room, and there isn't no big swinging axe going back and forth ready to rip your insides out unless you press your fingers against a metal jug and end up decapitating yourself. No, don't worry, I am not the Jigsaw Killer. But I do want to play a game in this video. It's the What If game. And honestly, I feel like the What If game is a waste of time in maybe 100% of the circumstances that you could go out there and play it. Look, believe me, piece of advice for all y'all young folks out there. I'm 24 years old, so I still have a lot to learn, and there are definitely a lot of people who are older than me watching this video. But for all y'all that are still in high school, a little bit younger than that, I know because I check my demographics, the What If game is a terrible game to play. Just don't play it. It's not good for you. Do things in life, and chase after what you want. Don't let the what ifs hold you back, baby, because those will ultimately be your demise. Now, the thing is, when it comes to the what if game in this video, what I wanted to do was ask a question as to what if things had gone just a tad different for the Montreal Canadiens and defenseman Arber Xhekaj. Now, of course, this is me going out there and trying to make a video topic out of something that really isn't all too grand, but the reason we are talking about Xhekaj in this video is because he recently had himself an interview on the Spittin' Chicklets podcast. Now, I'm pretty sure y'all are familiar with Spittin' Chicklets, you know what it's about, you know the cast, you know the style and the format that they'll frequently go out there and present their conversations within. And when it comes to the Xhekaj conversation, there was a very interesting point that was brought up and posted about on different parts of social media. Now, of course, we recognize that Arber Xhekaj is a Montreal Canadiens guy. He had signed with the Montreal Canadiens out of free agency and inevitably forced his way onto the team through sheer power of will. He was so good in the OHL as a physical brute guy, was never really like a super top point producer, but he did have himself some success producing points with the Kitchener Rangers in his last OHL year. Eventually he's on Montreal, and he plays out the next parts of his career. But this is the quote, or not the quote, but the idea that everybody seems to be talking about here, posted by LEAFS latest on Twitter. Let's take a look at this. Montreal Canadiens defenseman Arber Xhekaj said on the Spittin' Chicklets podcast that he had received an offer from the Toronto Maple Leafs after going undrafted, but chose to wait it out a few more days until his favorite team, the Canadiens, called. And this tweet, of course, is published by a Leafs-based Twitter account, and so all the replies are like, oh, but he's not that good anyway. Oh, he's this, he's that. Okay, that's fine. Great that he didn't sign with the Toronto Maple Leafs because he chose to be a loser. A lot of people are going out there and responding to this idea in a very hilarious way. I think a lot of Leafs fans are kind of, do I want to say they're coping with it? Yeah, it kind of feels like that, I'm not gonna lie. And then you have yourselves the Canadiens fans that are getting snarky about it too. Oh yeah, like, good things come to those who wait. Oh, look at all the Leafs fans coping. Leafs fans are saying he wouldn't crack the Toronto Marlies. Damn, he's an AHL caliber defenseman. It's a pretty big mixed bag of conversations here, but the idea that I wanted to bring up, man oh man, could you imagine if Arber Xhekaj was a Toronto Maple Leaf? I mean, he kind of fits exactly what it is that Brad Treliving is trying to build for this team, right? You want to talk about physicality, you want to talk about the decisiveness, how aggressive they can be, and how just bulldozing they can be in their own zone. I mean, there's a reason why the Toronto Maple Leafs went out there and got the guys they did. Max Domi, Tyler Bertuzzi, Ryan Reeves. There is a very clear identity here. And Arber Xhekaj is debatably one of the best fighters in the NHL today. So if you think about this guy being a Toronto Maple Leaf, imagine all of the crazy moments that Arber Xhekaj exhibited in the previous 2 years worth of play pretty much at the NHL level. Think of all of those highlight reel moments and then think, what if he was just a Toronto Maple Leaf instead? And all this same stuff happened to him. Let's say he gets into the big fights, he scores the crazy goal once in a while, and he really ruffles some feathers in front of his own goaltender's crease. That guy might just be a big fan favorite for the Toronto Maple Leafs in the same way he is for the Montreal Canadiens. And sure, there is a particular reputation that Xhekaj has established for himself around the NHL and various NHL fan bases, primarily because of a sort of carelessness that kind of presented itself for a part of this previous season, and then the penalties that he had piled up on as well. That was a really big deal for a lot of Canadiens fans, and it was kind of why he was sent down to Laval in the first place. But for other fans of other teams, Arber Xhekaj has sort of entered that territory where it's like, yeah, this guy could be seen as dangerous, this guy could be seen as reckless, this guy could be seen as a nuisance, but that just means that the way that he plays is working. Doesn't it? I mean, it's kind of like Matt Rempe, but not as strong, I guess you could say. Maybe Matt Rempe has a lot more of that carelessness and sort of reliance on physicality reputation, because Matt Rempe can't really do anything else. Arber Xhekaj, at least, he's a defenseman, so he has the benefit of the doubt of being able to provide extra value because of his physicality. If that was on Toronto, man, we wouldn't be hearing the end of it, really. I mean, sure, you could say some of the arguments that have been popped up here in the comments section, oh, like, he wouldn't crack the Maple Leafs roster. He's too bad to play in the Maple Leafs. They have so many other guys. Their decor is better than Montreal's. Therefore, Xhekaj wouldn't fit here. Yada, 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 right? It kind of feels a little bit like cope. But of course, you know, Maple Leafs fans are going to be Maple Leafs fans, and Montreal Canadiens fans are going to go to bat defending their guy to the earth. Or, not to the earth, my goodness, to hell and back, excuse me. So if you're a fan of the Montreal Canadiens, I want you to let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. How do you feel about Arber Xhekaj waiting it out and not allowing himself to be a Toronto Maple Leaf? He had the offer, he had the opportunity, he said no, and now he's a Montreal Canadien. He had to wait a little while before the Canadiens put their offer on his doorstep, but he waited, got the team that he wanted, and now he is here. If you're a Toronto Maple Leafs fan, I want you to, be honest in the comments section below, please. Try not to just kind of give a pretty snarky, salty response. Oh yeah, this guy wanted to be a Canadian. He denied the Leafs. That's okay, because he wouldn't even be a Leaf if he was on the team. Stuff like that we can live without. What are your honest thoughts about Arber Xhekaj and the potential he could have brought to the Toronto Maple Leafs as a franchise? Do you think he actually could have brought significant value? Do you think this is a guy that would have been as good of an addition to Toronto as he is in Montreal right now? And for the Canadiens fan base out there, could you live without Arber Xhekaj? That's a conversation that I think you can definitely explore when you consider the amount of left-handed defensemen that exist on the team. If Xhekaj chose somewhere else and he wasn't a Montreal Canadien, do you think the Habs would be better or worse than they are right now? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. I hope you enjoyed this video. And bye.